This is a HeadGum podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another brand new episode of All Fantasy Everything. I am your host, Ian Karmel, and today we are drafting video games to help me get through this today. I'm so intimidated. Sitting in this, I feel like I'm embarrassing myself.
Why are you intimidated by
Well,
Actually, I'm not. Intimidated isn't the right word.
Well, why is Ron already making the wrap it up just?
No, I was shutting down my phone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was like, oh, don't get a text come through. Don't get a text come thugh. I didn't want to have,
And
then I realized
and it worked.
Yeah.
it looked like
And like, all right, buddy. Yeah, it was so funny. He's like, welcome to the podcast. I'm Ian Karmel. Wrap it up.
Enough.
Okay. You want to get right to it? Okay.
I listened. I tried to listen to your podcast and couldn't get through the intro.
Yeah.
The 50 seconds. Intimidated wasn't the right word, but you were doing the wrap up thing. I made eye contact with you, Kumail, and there was an arched eyebrow situation.
Well, I'm just a little bit. I got my,
Yeah.
I got my shit up right now a little
You
bit.
do. Your
you
haunches
ready?
are up.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
get your team together, or are you just talking about in general?
Oh, just in life, I'm like engaged.
You're ready. You're ready for conflict at any
Yeah,
turn.
I'm ready to grab shit by the horns.
Well, I'm gonna shout "cuck" at you 45 to 50 times during this podcast.
Yeah, it just makes me stronger.
You're gonna go Super
Incredible
Saiyan
cuck.
at some
Yeah.
point. We're drafting video games, and to help us draft video games today on the All Fantasy Everything podcast, we have Ron Funches and Kumail Nanjiani. How are you guys? Thank you for joining us. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Beautiful.
Nobody yelled anything at me in a little while, so I'm good. I mean, it happens.
I'm great too.
You're fantastic. Kumail's
Yeah.
in here wearing the LeBron James Ultimate Warrior T-shirt,
Yeah.
looking like $1,000,000. Just to paint a picture for the listeners, Funches in a Bridget Mendler. What is this promoting her album? What is
This
this?
is promoting her single Atlantis.
Atlantis.
I feel like she has a couple more singles out now, but I haven't received the shirts for those.
Love
yet.
sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah.
Does
but
every
check it out.
single come with a shirt?
You have to now.
Okay.
Nowadays.
You got to make money every way you can. You got to have like a memory stick that your album comes on,
Sure.
and then people can erase the album and then use it for other things too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's you got to make money every way you can. For those of you that don't know, Ron Funches, wonderful stand-up comedian on the late show Undatable, on Powers coming up on Powerless. My bad.
got
Yeah,
no
Powers.
powers.
Powers of the game. Powerless on what is
On
it?
NBC.
On the National
coming out
Broadcasting Corporation.
February, and I'm in the Trolls movie.
In the Trolls movie, which was either number 1 or number 2 at the box office, right?
Yeah, it was either us or Doctor Strange. I don't remember which one.
Yeah, it was one of the
I
two.
do. I remember.
I don't think you do.
It was Doctor Strange.
It's impossible. I mean, the poll numbers were rigged.
Like, who's to say?
Math. Numbers.
No, I feel like
Facts.
mostly a lot of people were like, I'm going to go with Trolls.
I've been hearing a lot of people say Trolls is number 1.
No, I wanted
So-
Doctor Strange to be number 1 so bad. I wanted to see Trolls, but I bought a ticket to Doctor Strange.
You can see Ron or hear Ron Funches in Trolls right now, and yeah. Anything else to shout out? At Ron Funches on Twitter,
Yeah.
Ron Funches on Instagram.
Yeah.
Are you on Snapchat in case anyone wants to send you breasts?
No, I don't want to use that anymore because I feel like I feel like everybody's on it. So now I'm like, you don't get to see my
Oh, I
life.
like that. Yeah. No more peeks behind the veil. The veil has not been lifted; it's been let back down.
Yeah.
So don't even try to get at Funches on Snapchat
Nope.
or Instagram stories or any of that stuff. You will see what you're allowed to see and nothing more.
Yeah. He has a heavily curated public persona.
Exactly.
So much like Beyonce's public persona, you just everything's very controlled, and you keep the footage too.
Absolutely.
You know that about Beyonce? Any interview, she also gets the footage, so she has the raw stuff. So if you edit it to make her look bad, she can put out the raw
That's
footage.
a smart move.
That's a smart move.
Add that in.
Right?
Yeah. That is. Can I get the full unedited version of this podcast before you put it out?
No.
Okay. That's fine.
No, I'll send it to you. In fact, it won't be edited at all because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. So all this is in.
This is in. This is Kumail Nanjiani, another wonderful stand-up comedian. You know him from Silicon Valley. You know him as one of the co-hosts of Meltdown, which is no longer a stand-up show, but is still, for one more episode, a television show.
Yeah, there's a couple episodes left.
The heart and soul of the West Coast stand-up comedy community, I would call Meltdown, for the last 5 or 6 years, and now there's no soul.
It, yeah.
What is now? What is a hot tub?
Yeah, I told Kurt that we were gonna have everyone promise on the last show that nobody there would ever go to a hot tub.
Yeah.
Comedy is dying with us.
It's all over. There's not another show that's moved in like that time in the time slot, right?
No, not yet, but they'll have something. But Hot Tub's a really great show with Kurt Brauner, Kristen Schaal, and then. But it's different crowds. It's weird. When I would go to a hot tub, the people there only go to that show.
They do. It's like their one thing that they go to.
They're Kristen fans.
With either show Good Looks, which is like a crowd that seems to be only brought in by Andrew Machon and his weird
vampires.
LA hipster connections. Yeah.
What is
they are all vampires. They are all the very like skinny, gaunt, beautiful people.
Yeah. And vampires need to get entertained too.
Absolutely.
And they will come out at night. It's perfect for them.
Count
Stand-up
Chocula,
comedy is the perfect activity for a young vampire couple.
Yeah. They get breakfast and just see comedy.
Absolutely. They wear Japanese linen shirts and
wake up early. Yeah, I'm just gonna pitch it to all young vampires who are listening to your podcast. Wake up early.
Wake up early.
Get some breakfast.
Yeah. Get up at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Get some breakfast.
Go to a comedy show.
I bet vampires are so excited about McDonald's serving breakfast all day.
Absolutely, because it was
they
only
could
Jack in the
never
Box.
eat it.
Yeah.
It was just Jack in the Box.
They would always get quiet and sullen every time a McMuffin was brought up. They're all justifying like it probably has garlic in it anyway.
Yeah, I heard it's not that good, actually.
All sour grapes, like, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
No, it's bad for you. Trans fats. They just throw buzzwords around. They love trans fat, Transylvanian fats.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's their favorite.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Transylvanian fats.
Wow.
Yeah. Transylvanian fats also sounds like a white blues musician.
Transylvanian fat.
Well, we should do what we came here to do. Ain't that right, Boo?
Yeah, let's do it.
True. We are going to be drafting video games. Video games from all time today. And another reason you guys are both gigantic video game fans. Kumail, the Indoor Kids no longer a podcast, but for the longest time, you had a podcast about video games.
I will say it's on hiatus. My
on
wife,
hiatus.
Emily Gordon, and I have a podcast about the Indoor Kids that's been on hiatus for about a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of the Curb Your Enthusiasm model. You might bring it back.
Yeah, and then the X-Files Files, which was my podcast about the X-Files, that's been on hiatus for about a year as well.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of like, pruning. I went through a pruning phase last year.
Absolutely. You have to let the land lie fallow. And then
I just want to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all I want now.
That's not even the shows of the
I don't want to
stand-up.
be on shows. I don't want to do stand-up.
Yeah.
I want to manufacture events that happen and tweet about them.
You did. We can admit now that you've gotten a week's worth of buzz out of it.
That you made it up.
You did that whole cuck thing. Never really happened, right?
The thing is, I can't even joke and say it didn't happen because there are already so many people that are like, he made it up.
Are people on Twitter
Oh,
saying
of
like you
course.
made that up?
Well, yeah, not the majority of people,
if
but there are
anything
people.
I've seen online is that everybody's been real civil and nice during this
Yeah.
whole time period.
Yeah.
So I think you're totally making it up.
So right. And now you think I'm making it up that people are saying I'm making it up also.
Oh yeah, I mean for the most, I think everybody's just like Kumail's great and he's chill. That's all I hear on the streets, and then you're just like, let me see how I can line my pockets.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything past
I want
you,
that
sneaky, greasy liberal
controversy,
fingers.
Yeah. Controversy that makes you coin.
Oh, controversy.
Controversy.
Fantastic. We should get that printed on the back of a satin jacket for you. With the cent sign as the C.
Yeah,
You don't see
exactly.
that
Of
as
course.
much anymore. There's no rappers with the cent sign in their
Yeah,
name.
nobody wants to grind anymore.
Everybody just wants the dollars.
It
Plenty
used to
of
be.
rappers with
It
the
used to be
dollar
about
sign.
the hustle, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it about
You couldn't
the hustle?
knock it. It was all about the hustle. Yeah. And now it's all just about putting dollar signs. We'll probably get somebody with a euro symbol in their name at some point, but never the little coin symbol. Those days are gone, guys. Well, let's determine the order of the draft, and the way we determine it every time is the two of you will play one game, of rock, paper, scissors. Not best out of three.
Is it 1, 2, 3 shoot or
1, 2, 3 shoot?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've already decided what I'm gonna pull.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Ooh, double scissors!
Double
sisters! Double sisters! Double scissors!
Double sisters. That sounds like a very specific YouPorn category.
Yeah, double sisters. That's 4 sisters.
Yeah, that's 4 sisters.
All right, since you guys tied, we're not going to do the draft.
Okay,
we're just going to.
Okay, all right, that's the end of the podcast.
All right, now round
Wrap it
2.
up.
Here we go. Oh, double papers!
right.
Kumail finally won with a rock over Ron Funches' scissors, and now it is upon you to determine the order of the draft.
You know what? I'll go third.
You're going to go third?
Yeah.
And who would you like to go second?
Ian, I want you to go first.
I'll go first. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lead us off, which means Ron Funches is drafting second. So
I hate you.
you don't like second.
Is that bad?
No, it's just, we'll see. We'll see what Ian goes with.
Yeah. Oof. All right. Well, with the very first pick of the All Fantasy Everything video game draft, I am taking Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
It's what?
That definitely cancels out one of mine.
Yeah. That's the game, baby.
It's a great game.
That's
That's the catchphrase I'm trying to get going. Is
And
that's
it was
the
a
game,
sure
baby.
thing.
It was on my list. I'm pretty sure it's on everybody's list.
It's on everybody listening's list. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Now, I've never played it, but I saw that on the IGN list. No, I'm just joking. I played.
Mine was I was gonna have Link to the Past on there.
Oh yeah,
I
well
do
you
love that.
Yeah,
one.
you can still pick that.
No, but I'm not going to.
Oh, the whole thing's been tainted.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I took one of the Zeldas.
Yeah.
So this is like if I had dated a woman and then you got to know her, you assuming you weren't married, you would not date her after me
Or her relatives.
or anyone even related
Yeah.
to her, anyone
Yeah.
in her family tree.
Yeah.
I like that.
hard. to
Anyone
not
with
be-
that first name.
It's hard not to be offended by that. Even Zelda Fitzgerald, if you were to travel back in time,
Nope, she's not on my. I have
That
to
crazy
scratch her
flapper.
off. Yeah.
All
And
right,
Zelda Rubinstein too.
who's Zelda Rubinstein?
Zelda Rubinstein was a little. I don't know if she was a little person, but she was a shorter lady.
Okay.
Who was, if you saw her, you'd be like, oh, that lady. She's in a ton of TV shows and like had I don't want to say strange, but she had a voice that was unique to her. And talk about Zelda.
All right, great. Let's get into it. But definitely look up Zelda Rubinstein as an accompaniment to this podcast. I loved it. I mean, it came out right when I was really when I was an awkward sort of pre-teenager when you needed video games the most. Not that I don't need them now, but it was a game that you could fall into completely. The
Yeah.
graphics were great for the time. And not great in the way that a lot of video game graphics tried to be, where people would have horrifying faces.
No.
Horrifying polygon faces.
Yeah. This was a cartoony take.
It was cartoony, yeah.
Yeah.
They leaned into, they really embraced what the restrictions were.
Yeah.
And made it an advantage rather than a restriction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game was so fun. The soundtrack was
Oh, yeah.
so amazing.
Zelda always has good
I
music.
still start a lot of my emails or texts or tweets
Yeah.
with, hey, listen.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't know if anyone else hears it. But every time I go, I know what I'm hearing.
Yeah, from the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a game centered around an ocarina. You still had a sword, but it was amazing that your most powerful weapon was a rock with holes drilled into it.
It was definitely the first game to be centered around an ocarina.
I think so.
And probably I don't think there's been a game since that has really featured an ocarina that heavily.
It's definitely a hole in the market.
Not that heavily.
Yeah, there may have been ocarina. I think Rock Band eventually added an ocarina to it.
yeah.
Yeah, Rockarina.
Yeah.
I just love when you got the horse in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when you first got the horse?
Epona? Is that the horse's name?
I
I
think
feel like it's Epona.
Epona.
Is
yeah.
it Epona?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know how to pronounce it. Well, either one could be proper. It's whatever you want it to be because it's a video game and your story.
Yeah, it exists only in your brain and your heart.
Yeah.
When I when I first got, because it was a game. Now, like when a new game comes out, you'll read a review of it, or even just on Twitter, you'll find out what like the cool twists and turns in that game are.
You didn't know, especially that fucking
You can cuss, yeah.
good water temple.
Yes.
You know? You're like, oh, what? I gotta go get a Prima Guide now,
right?
Because I can't figure this out.
It wasn't Prima Guide. That fucking water temple was so hard. I may have destroyed. I was definitely into destroying controllers.
Then you learn, the bottle switching glitch. You know about that?
No, I don't know the bottle switching glitch.
You could turn any item that you didn't want
into
I
knew
a bottle.
This. Yes,
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the water temple?
No,
was it in the Prima Guide?
That I forgot what you had to do, but you just had to. I think you had to switch your grappling hook and the item that you didn't want. You had to have because you had to have the 3 items. You had to have like the item that you didn't want, a bottle, and a grappling hook. So you start with your bottle, switch really quick to the item that you didn't want as you were trying to grab a fairy.
Yeah,
and it would turn that item into a bottle.
Oh,
that's right.
Very dope. I didn't know that. I'm going to have to go. I haven't gone back and played Ocarina of Time.
Have you guys played the Zelda games since then? Like, have you played Wind Waker?
I played Wind Waker and then not any of the ones since that.
How's Wind Waker?
Wind Waker is one of my favorite games, but that has it was one of the games I was playing while my son, I was waiting for my son to be born. It was right around that time, and so I named it after him, and it was really fun. So it was just a real personal thing for me, and I was like, he can never die, and I made it through without him dying, and so it was great. And so that and Metroid Prime were games that I played a lot before he was born, and so I love the Wind Wakers. I love that art style. I love the cartoony style.
Oh yeah. And then what's been the newest? The next one comes out next year. That looks great. But what was the one after Wind Waker? The Skyward Sword?
Skyward Sword, and there was the Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I haven't played those.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
They're okay, but they don't hit the heights.
Ocarina of Time had set such a high standard.
Yeah, and plus they were always tied to the Wii remote, which I felt was a bad
idea.
To the what?
To the Wiimote.
So there was you do your sword gestures with it and everything.
Yeah. I tried Skyward Sword, and it was the sword gestures that took me out.
I never bought into the Wii as a concept. I like that they were experimenting and trying to do cool stuff, but I do video games so I don't have to get up and move around and stuff like that.
I do love virtual reality. I have a Vive now, and I'm loving it.
Oh, I can't. I'm terrified of that. Even stoned, do you love it?
I love it more.
Even more stoned?
Even stoned?
I know. That sounds
what video game is worse when you're stoned?
Anything scary. Anything scary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some scary games,
we'll talk about scary games, hopefully.
We will.
Depending on... Ron,
I'm ready to draft. I'm ready.
All right, fantastic. So that was the first pick, Ocarina of Time. Ron Funches, you have the second pick of the first round, your first pick.
I'm happy that I get to still draft my favorite game of all time. With the second pick in the video game draft, I select Super Mario 3.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
My favorite game of all time. It's a game that I completed when I was a kid, and then also as an adult on the Game Boy Advance, and then it's one of the few games where I've beaten every single level, even when because you can skip levels.
Yeah, with the flutes.
Yeah,
whistles.
And then just different things that'll let you skip. And I've gone through and beaten every single level. It holds up to me 100%. It's my favorite Mario Brothers game, and I guess the Tanuki suit, jumping around in a boot. Giant world. I feel because I'm assuming and also I have questions about the draft. Our online capabilities, are they still available? Is this a desert island situation?
Online capabilities still available. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Every part of the game is in play. Yeah,
but also no, I'll never be able to play any other games besides these 5 games that I'm picking.
We can say that's
true.
But
that's not the desert island thing, right?
It's not a desert island thing. You're just making a list.
You're just making a list.
Yeah. Okay. I'm putting more into it.
It's just your 5 versus our 5.
Still good. Okay. Well, I still feel like I got a solid pick right here with Super Mario 3.
That's great. Are you asking that because it's your favorite of the 3 Marios, and so that it incorporates all the best things about?
I feel it was the tightest
Super Mario
game
World
design.
is amazing too.
Super Mario World is amazing. It's amazing, and I feel like if I was a little younger, then maybe that one would have been for me. But as far as my age and when it was just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Was the jump from Super Mario... you think about Mario 1.
Yes.
And you think about Mario 3. And the fact that they're on the same system.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful game. It really... more so than the first Mario, it really set the tone for what Nintendo was going to be.
And that was, I mean, all the warp stuff was really mind-blowing. And The Wizard, did you guys see them?
Exactly.
That movie launched the game.
Yes.
You'd see that movie and you'd be like, what the fuck is this? All the warp stones and stuff. It was so really kind of groundbreaking.
Absolutely.
It made I don't know if it made the world feel small or big, but it made, those games back then made it feel different. Maybe it was just that we were kids, but it felt like so momentous when those games came out. Like when Mario 3 came out, that was one of the biggest things in your life.
When games only came out during the holiday season.
Yeah.
Like they didn't come out during the spring and summer like they do now. And so you had been like playing the same game, playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But it was still fun.
Get through it. And then like, finally, Super Mario 3 is out. I can play it. That's when delays really like broke your soul. I remember crying over some video games.
Oh, you were like so plugged in. You knew exactly what games were coming out months before it.
Yep.
You were getting
my Game Pro subscription.
Yeah.
That was all about it. I was waiting to see. I was all like, better get a Fun Factor of 5.
What was your favorite Mario outfit out of Mario 3? With Tanuki suit?
Yeah,
it's got to be
absolutely.
Tanuki suit.
It's the best. I mean, the frog suit is cute as fuck.
Absolutely adorable.
It's a cute game, but like the Tanuki suit is.
You could fly as Mario. You could fly. I mean, that was crazy. If you go back,
jumping in a boot.
Yeah.
Why?
Mario.
Why is there a mechanical boot controlled by a propeller? I don't know.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was. What was it? There was something I wanted to say about Mario, and now I can't remember.
I think of all the franchises in video game history, Mario has the best hit to miss ratio.
Oh, absolutely.
There has not been a bad Mario
across the board. We talk about his other items and his racing and his forays into boxing referees.
Absolutely.
Oh, and
the Field of Medicine.
I like the Haunted Mansion, the Luigi's Mansion games. I like those.
Yeah. It is amazing what the variety of different Mario games. That Nintendo's just like, you're a star. Mario was almost like an A-list actor as far as Nintendo is concerned.
He could do every genre.
Yeah, he could do
totally.
Yeah.
All right, this one,
rom-coms, action movies, fucking period dramas,
medical dramas. There was Mario in Time. I remember loving that game where it was like Mario going through. For some reason, he was part of the Earth's actual timeline. You know, like he would go back. Right? Wasn't that again?
Luigi got kidnapped.
Yeah.
You had to chase him throughout time to get him back.
That was so fun.
Story.
Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Paper Mario is great.
But yeah, Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door. It's one of my favorite RPGs.
The weird thing about the Tanuki suit, because Mario 3, I mean, it's a game for everybody, but it's a game for kids. The Tanuki, like in Japan, is like a raccoon-type creature with gigantic testicles.
It's a real thing?
It's not a real thing. It's a mythological creature.
I like that their mythological thing is just something that's real, but with much bigger
balls.
balls.
Huge nuts. That's like literally
I think that's great.
It's just like a small raccoon with giant testicles.
We have this mythical creature. It's a common house cat, but its balls are huge.
It's just huge balls.
Wow, how did you come up with that? So genius.
It is a little bit more, at least they're more like direct and blunt than the West was with the unicorn, you know, where it was like, this is a horse with a dick on its
horse
forehead.
with a dildo,
yeah. You know, but it was, you know, they had to be like sort of, you know, Christian about it. And the East, they're just like, it's got huge nuts.
Go right at
it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's no innuendo.
Fuck the shit out of you.
Yeah. It's sort of a fuck raccoon.
You can't tie this raccoon down.
The dick wasn't any bigger. It's just huge nuts.
And it just made his dick look smaller because the nuts are so big.
If anything. And on a creature known for being sort of swift and sneaky, it's dragging these huge nuts around.
It's really not like scary.
I know that bird.
No. Ron Funches, a man of gigantic testicles.
All right, should I go?
We should. So pick number 2, Ron Funches took Super Mario 3. Kumail,
you don't want to touch that.
It's time for your first pick.
And then am I going to do 2 back to back?
Yeah, you're going to do the final pick of the first round and the first pick of the second round.
All right, so this makes it easy for me. I'm picking Street Fighter 2.
Woo, yes.
Because I used to go to the arcade, and when that game came out, nobody played any other game. It was always huddled. Everybody was always huddled around Street Fighter 2. You got your turn. You got beat by the fucking best guy, and it fucking sucked. and then it came out on the Super Nintendo, and it was just like the arcade. And it was the first time I remember having a video game where like what you didn't exactly correspond with what happened. So like the fireball motion, and like something you do down, right, punch, and a fireball comes out. Usually it was like you go forward, you press forward, you go forward.
Any other game, you duck, move forward, and throw a punch.
This was like sort of non-intuitive, but also so intuitive. And when my cousin and I got the game on his Super Nintendo, we didn't know any of the moves. So it would just like fireballs would come out. So we thought you did a fireball by hitting down, kick, forward, and then punch. So our games would just be us furthest away from each other, both crouching and kicking, and then whoever could like go to the punch first.
Street Fighter 2 for you was some sort of weird wizard battle.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Get enough power through the kick.
Yeah.
Build up your chi.
The kick woke up ancestral ghosts, which would then grant you the power to throw a fireball. Yeah.
And Chun-Li's panties, man.
Oh, there was nothing better.
Very important.
Very, very important to young men.
Very important.
And to certain young women. Yeah, absolutely. Very important.
And I think, and then, so I like that. I like the championship, the turbo. I think there would be no Mortal Kombat if it wasn't for Street Fighter 2. There would be no Injustice. There would be, it kept the fighting game genre alive for years and years. And then it brought it back with Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. I got 5.
Not that great.
Did not get into it.
Yeah.
And it bummed me out. But 4 was fucking awesome.
There was something nice about like how, because now like when fighting games come out, they have to have like more and more characters.
Mm-hmm.
Even a new Street Fighter comes out, it's got like the original ones, and they've added all these other ones. Yeah. And you want that because you want more people. But like when Street Fighter 2 first came out, there was you didn't know what was lying ahead.
No.
So it was like nice to, because you didn't know you were being deprived of extra characters.
Yeah.
And there was something nice about that, having like this tighter, smaller cast of people.
Yeah, 8 was a lot. And the graphics were unbelievable.
You had so many to learn. What were you? Were you a circle character? Were you a charge character? If you're a charge character, I'm not even picking you, basically.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just me being Ken.
You were a Ken. You fought as Ken.
Ken guy because I like that balance across the board, but I love that American flavor and style that
absolutely.
he had.
A little swagger to him. The Ryu didn't.
Yeah, totally. I decided I would be good at get good at Blanca, and then I was really good at Blanca, and even on Street Fighter 4, Blanca was my dude, and I got like really good at him, even though the fireball motion is easier than the charge motion, but I always loved Blanca, and then I got into Sagat real hardcore. Yeah, big into Sagat.
Yeah, he's great.
I liked Sagat. I liked. I was a Blanca guy, and then I also liked. Oh God, I just had his name. The big Russian guy,
Zangief.
Yeah, his name just escaped me. Yeah, I love Zangief. The outfits that some of those guys. Zangief's outfit is insane. He looks like a gay caricature. He looks like that artist. I forget his name.
He's like a bear, yeah.
Yeah, he's like all muscular and hairy and wearing like very tight, kind of like boy shorts.
He's a daddy.
He's a daddy. He's a total daddy. Yeah.
And then when I got my first job in the biz was I started writing for a show called Michael and Michael Have Issues.
Oh yeah.
And I just got my first paycheck, and I was like, I'm gonna save my money. I'm not gonna waste it. I'm gonna be good. And then we were at a Best Buy, and I saw the Fight Pad controller that had Blanca on it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And Emily was like, "You gotta get it. It's your first paycheck."
Oh, that's a good.
And so I did.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2 is an excellent pick. Where did you prefer it? Did you prefer it in the arcades or once you got it at home? Did you go back to the arcades?
No. Once I got it at home, to me, there was no difference. It was it was one of the first great arcade ports that was like the same at home as it was at the arcade. Like the Super Nintendo was getting strong enough to the point where, those games looked the same. Like the Ninja Turtles game was a really good port.
Yes.
But Street Fighter 2, I remember being like, I didn't think that we could play this kind of game at home. And I played that game a lot.
There was no temptation to go back to the arcade and find that guy. Because how did that guy get so good at Street Fighter 2? Like the guy who would dominate it?
Oh, yeah. By just being there all the time and having a bad home life.
I guess that's what it was.
You need an escape.
He had an awful stepfather, and thus he became the best Street Fighter 2. Yeah.
Totally.
What's your next pick?
Yeah.
All right.
So, Kumail, you have the that concludes the first round. You now have the first pick of the second round of the
All right,
video
I'm
game
gonna
draft.
cheat a little
Basically,
bit.
I always have the second pick of every round.
You do.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You're right
I'm
in the
gonna
middle,
cheat
right in
a
the
little
pocket.
bit because I played this game on the Xbox.
Okay.
And it had come out on the PlayStation first. I think it was PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But when it came out on the Xbox, they came together, which is GTA, Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto 3. They came out together. If
Okay.
you're going to make me pick one, I'm going to pick Vice City. Because I think that Grand Theft Auto changed video games, and they all became open world games.
Absolutely.
And
Everything
they're
had to be
still
a
like
sandbox.
that.
Yeah.
Everything is sandbox. Still, they changed everything. Like Forza, which I'm playing right now, that's sandbox. Like everything's an open sandbox. And just the feeling of driving a car and sunglasses at night comes on.
Oh, it's so good.
Fucking cool.
It's so that 80s vibe was amazing in that game.
Yeah. I think that they should do a sequel because the next one will be GTA 6.
Yeah.
Which is VI Vice City.
Oh, yeah.
I think they gotta do Vice City again.
Go back to Miami in the 80s.
Yeah, go back or do 80s anywhere. But
Yeah.
I loved the TV show Miami Vice too. So for me, Vice City was the fucking best.
Did you dress your guy up like Tubbs and Crockett? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, running around chainsawing.
Did you
people
play that
like
one?
Scarface. Yeah, Vice City's probably. It's not my favorite of the Grand Theft Autos. Mine would be San Andreas because of the obvious reasons as being a young black youth. I was I relate to this one a lot more.
Absolutely.
See, that's the thing. I was never a young black youth,
You never were,
but I was.
recommend it.
I was a young, hip white man
Yeah.
at one point.
I'm currently entering my young black youth phase. So yeah, I end up playing a lot more San Andreas right now.
I buy that.
That game, Vice City, we don't want to talk about San Andreas yet, just in case it gets picked. But yeah, Vice City was amazing. And the departure, if you're taking 3 as well, from what Grand Theft Auto used to be.
Oh my God, what a huge leap forward. Who would have thunk?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's
What did you do?
There's nothing else like it. That I can't even think of anything else that had. It's like if all of a sudden there was a Big Bang Theory movie and it was Oscar winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you guys have this in school where in high school you go off to summer and then when you come back, there's one kid who got super yoked and handsome over the summer, and you're like, what happened to you? You were this tiny little nerd, and in 3 months, that's what happened to Grand Theft Auto.
It fully did, because it was kind of a fun time waster.
Yeah,
did
did you get into the Captain America machine? What happened to you?
I do have a question to the commissioner. Was he allowed to pick his double pack, or
I'm not going to allow the double pack.
All right,
We're
I'll
gonna
go Vice City.
Yeah, we're just going to make it Vice City.
Okay.
So you don't quite get that leap forward, but it represented even another leap forward, because 3 was.
Well, I don't remember. It was one of the first games where the music was actual music that you knew, and that tried to evoke a time and place in a very specific way. Usually video games created their own world, and that was the feeling of it. This is the first time I remember a video game trying to create a feeling, a time and place that had existed in pop culture in other contexts.
Yeah, and they did, and it kind of set the bar. In GTA 3, you were doing some Goodfella missions, and you were doing some Godfather missions and stuff like that. But Vice City was so evocative that pretty much just Miami Vice.
The colors were great,
and Scarface,
fucking good. Yeah.
And the soundtrack was so good.
Yeah, and the missions were so fun. It's just an amazing game, and it was a great pick.
I remember. I remember going into there wasn't there a nightclub in it where you had to go yeah. Kill people in that nightclub. Mm-hmm. It's almost weird to talk about those things with nostalgia.
So many ugly prostitutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before you could have sex in the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ron. You got
GTA
one?
Vice City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick this one. I'm going off of my list.
Okay.
And going on one because I want my group of. I'm hoping to assemble a group that just is a vast range of genres, and then also has multiplayer, maybe some online. And so this game to me is my favorite game to probably play one-on-one with a person.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with the NBA Jam Tournament edition.
Oh, fuck you! It's downstairs, by the way, right now.
I saw
That's why it got me on my list.
That was gonna take that. I was literally gonna take that next.
You could play
I wanted it so bad.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, exactly. And just the games were so close. I mean, because we know we had that, and that's why I want the tournament edition because I don't like that rubber band AI.
Yeah,
it's just like it was just so much fun and pure. Like just having the one-on-one, or sometimes four-on-four.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Just playing it. I remember playing it at Bridgetown.
Bridgetown, exactly. And shout out to Ground Control. Yeah, in Portland, Oregon.
And it wasn't on. When I got here today, it wasn't on the list, but it's going in at my number 2 pick because I feel like it'll help complete my team.
I should have put a sheet over it downstairs. It was some of my fondest memories of Bridgetown. Aren't even like shows or anything like that. It's being a little bit hungover, eating pizza, and then like getting into like really intense 2-on-2 NBA Jam games.
Oh yeah, I beat Double Dragon there.
Yeah,
and I played. They have the Ninja Turtles game, right?
Yeah. And they have the Simpsons one too.
Yeah,
the Simpsons arcade game, which I've still never beat. The NBA. Who's your favorite team to pick on? Was Chicago Bulls?
Yeah, of course. But if you're asking me to leave outside my hometown bias, I love the Supersonics playing with Kemp and Payton.
Who was it? Gary Payton.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Payton, Sean Kemp.
Yeah, Rain Man.
Yes, the Rain Man. Yeah, absolutely.
They were my favorite combo. I even loved playing as Detlef Schrempf. He was great.
I love Schrempf.
Detlef Schrempf.
Mm-hmm. Raining threes on people. So and playing as the New Orleans Hornets mascot. I loved that.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was so much fun. I loved being with Charlotte, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
But they had a great team too because that was Grandmama and Zoe, right?
Yeah.
God,
they really went for like have it be fun. So they had the mascot stuff, and it wasn't trying to be obviously like a realist. Is there a sports game right now that occupies that space where it's like fun, not like a sim?
No.
I wish, because another one, which I don't think I'm going to take, but if this was 10 rounds, I would, NBA Street, which was like an evolution of NBA Jam, but on consoles, it was so good. It was so much fun. That's a gap in the market, too, and I wonder why that stopped happening. Because I feel like people would still buy those games.
Especially with online distribution and just being able to do it as a cheaper option.
Yeah.
That you would do it, but I don't know. I think someone will find it. Hopefully,
I hope so.
What was
the license is so expensive?
What was the soccer one that was like a cool, like EA did like a soccer game a few years ago? That was like.
Well, I think they were doing that. They just had a whole Street series.
It was like FIFA Street. Yeah,
FIFA Street.
Yeah, they had a football one too, which was insane.
NFL Street,
it wasn't Blitz. It was like NFL Street. Yeah.
I missed those games like Mutant League Football and stuff,
where
it was just like some crazy future sport. Yeah.
Those ones were great. Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball.
Yeah, that was great.
Was one of them.
I remember.
Bill Lambier in his own video game.
A great sports game that I never, if it was 10 rounds maybe, but I loved was Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Box.
Yeah, I love that game.
I never played that one.
The characters were so big. Yeah. I'd never seen graphics like that. And like when the guy would punch, you'd see his back and he had like crazy muscles on his back.
Yeah.
Oh, was it that one where you were kind of almost point of view? Was it that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like sort of like Street Fighter, right? Point of view?
Yeah, it's kind of like Street Fighter. But my favorite thing about it was like it was one of the first games where it was like, oh, you have to box, but also it's like you have a training regimen, and it brought a lot of mini games in with lifting weights and things like that. It was one of the first games that ever did that.
That came from Evander himself. He was like, if I'm gonna make a boxing game, we're gonna tell the whole story. So there's gonna be a jump. We're gonna be jumping rope.
Yeah, it's gonna be boring as fuck.
Yeah, a lot of the things that I liked about Fight Night were like first in Evander Holyfield's.
I tried to get into Fight Night. I couldn't get into it.
I got real into Fight Night.
Well, yeah, when it came out, because if you had a 360 right when it came out, you kind of just played anything, right?
Yeah.
So like, I was like, oh, graphics are amazing.
Amazing.
I remember playing GRAW, playing the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I got a PS4 and I played. What was that shooting game that was the first like? Killzone.
Yeah, Killzone.
Fucking Killzone.
The Halo killer, Killzone.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The Nothing Killer.
The Nothing Killer. Not even an afternoon killer. Killzone. Yeah.
All right, Ian, what you got?
All right. So NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Fuck. I wanted it so bad. Now that was literally going to be my next pick. I guess I have to. All right, I'm going to take.
You get 2 picks now.
I get 2 picks in a row.
Okay.
With the final pick of the second round, I'm going to take GoldenEye 007.
Okay.
On the Nintendo 64.
First time a console first-person shooter was really good.
Yeah, it was so good. It was. I mean, this is. I think the last episode of this podcast was the 90s, and I took it in that as well. So I'm just gonna talk about it again.
Well, that actually brings up a point to me where I don't mean to disagree with your picks here, but I feel like it doesn't hold up. I've had conversations about this recently.
Oh, sure. I mean, I wouldn't want to play it again now, but what it meant to me in that time was, there's no wrong way to do this draft. And so,
Ron's trying to
figure out a wrong way to do it.
I feel like replayability is a strong.
Is it a strong one?
It's going into my draft.
For me, it's
I don't care about it.
I'm going
all.
personal, a mix of personal and legacy. Like what did that game do? That's why I went with GTA because I was like, that sort of changed gaming. Street Fighter 2.
With games that I would still play right now.
There's no way on earth I would still play GoldenEye. In fact, if someone was like, "Come over, we're doing like a GoldenEye party. We're gonna drink, smoke some pot," I wouldn't want to go to that party.
Your thumbs would hurt.
My thumbs would hurt. I would be frustrated with the graphics. Somebody would pick Odd Job, and I'd get on them about that.
Yeah. I almost put Halo on my list because to me that was like that. GoldenEye was the first-person shooter on consoles to really work, and then Halo. Every game since Halo is a version of Halo.
They're just like slight Halo knockoffs. Yeah,
they all have like Vehicles. The 2-gun thing. That's from
shield.
Yeah, that's all Halo.
But I didn't pick Halo. I picked GoldenEye. I loved GoldenEye when it came out. I remember my brother brought home Nintendo 64 with GoldenEye. I was still on I still had a Super Nintendo, and he let me play it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
and that's it.
And that's it. And like I was like, oh my god,
it's
and
so
like,
much future.
All right, I gotta go. And I was like, no, leave it here over the weekend. He's like, I'm not leaving, because he's only 9 years older than me. It's not like he's a 45-year-old man. And he
9
took
years
it with
is a big difference.
It was a big difference, but not big enough that he was like, I don't need video games this weekend.
Right.
So he took it with him. He took GoldenEye. He took the 64. And I was left sitting there planning on how I was going to fool Sue Carmel into buying me Nintendo 64 before it was my birthday or Hanukkah.
And did you get it?
I did not get it. Not at all. I had to fucking settle. It was just so good. It dominated birthday parties for 4 solid years.
It was so good. It made me go to church.
Yeah.
Because there were church functions in my area, and this dude that loved church would always be like, "Come to my church things," and I'd be like, "No." He's like, "Well, this one's having a party, and there's like spaghetti and fun and GoldenEye on a projection screen," and I'm like, "I'll go."
Absolutely, praise Jesus. What better way to celebrate Christ who is Lord than by shooting a bunch of people?
Yeah, well, they knew. They were just like, "We need to bring them in."
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever will work.
That guy's similar to Trump's strategy. Just tell them whatever they want to hear. We're getting political now. This is the political part of the podcast. It was just, nothing evokes childhood to me. Like eating pizza, drinking Mountain Dew.
How different is your life now? I'm sure it's not that.
Almost complete.
Are you not eating pizza anymore, Ian?
No. Now it's all like fancy Italian pizzas with like buffalo mozzarella and prosciutto. Prosciutto. It was
gabagool.
A little gabagool, a little prosciutto, a salam, some bologna. It's pretty much exactly the same, actually. But now I don't have 3 people hanging out.
That's why we have wonderful lives.
Yeah, we do have. Actually, that is.
I mean, that's the joy of being a grown-up is you don't have to wait for Sue Carmel to buy you a video game.
No, you can go buy it for yourself.
And you could just do whatever you want. So you would play, you'd get Mountain Dew, pizza.
And then you'd stay up until like 3 a.m. That's the thing that's missing. And like why I don't like. I enjoy doing online gaming, but it's not the same as back before you knew.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Again, it was a little bit of innocence.
I've been trying to bring back some of that things that where people come over and been trying the virtual reality out, or because we've been playing this game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, or Keep Talking something about exploding or keep talking. And basically, one person is in the virtual reality headset and they can look at this bomb and defuse it with the controller, and then everybody else has this fucking 30-page manual.
What?
Oh,
how to
defuse
the bomb.
I know what this is. So they're like, you have to talk them through defusing this bomb.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's really, really fun. It's been a fun party game to play with people, and it's frustrating, and you get to learn who's good at communicating and who's not. It's really, really fun.
Who you can trust. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like in job interviews in 10 years.
Yeah.
Where it's like, who can you trust in a crisis? Who can like stay calm and talk you through something?
I learned that I'm good at it because of being a dad. Or I'm like, because people tell me the wrong thing and I don't freak out. I just go like, okay, you were wrong.
Yeah, not
Let's
quite.
try it again.
Has that been the most fulfilling thing about being a dad?
Yeah,
it's like getting better at video games.
Absolutely. That and the 20 minutes of material that was given me.
It's some good material though. That was in the first Conan set. It was dad's stuff, I think, right?
Yeah, and also when he reads.
Yeah.
Oh, his little voice.
Is it really cute?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's in school now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that does sound cute.
Yeah, he's just reading about the science project. Oh, you're so cute.
That's so. Is there a virtual reality way to recapture that too?
I'm sure. Well, Job Simulator. We've been playing a lot of that.
What is Job Simulator?
You just are. It's basically making fun of the human's existence.
Yeah.
And you play a bunch of mundane jobs, and you get all these weird tasks while a robot's basically making fun of you for playing this game about doing jobs. So it's real silly, but it's fun. You can eat a hot dog.
Oh, okay, good. Because that's gone out of our lives completely almost at this point.
I have not had a hot dog in generations.
I have had. I would think I was in Philadelphia the last time I had a hot dog.
I was in Copenhagen, Denmark, trying one of their sausages, and because they were like, "This is what they have here," and then I realized, you know what? No matter where they are, I guess I just don't like sausages.
Yeah, I don't like them.
I like sausages. I do. I don't even count sausages as hot dogs. Personally.
Oh, you're like, I'm having tons of sausage.
I'm having sausage all the time. I might have sausage tonight. I'll definitely have sausage this week. You guys don't like sausage? What is it? Is it the fact that it's like cased in an intestine?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
that
strong
would be.
start.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like one of the top 5 reasons I find it.
You have intestines in your body already. You know what I mean? It's not that
that's
weird.
exactly why I don't want more. I've got just the right amount.
You're happy with it. We do have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And this all ties into GoldenEye.
Yeah, and what you got next? Next?
All right, so that's my second pick. My third pick, I'm gonna take the original. No, I'm gonna take the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Nice.
Ooh,
nice. Solid pick. Wild card.
Okay.
You're a wild card.
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
It's very sad to me that style of game has gone out because that game was great, and then the SSX game, which I will argue is a version of that.
Skate 3.
Skate 3,
now.
But that has
they're more realistic,
That
right?
is more realistic, but it's still a great skating game.
It is
Tony
really
Hawk
good.
Pulling Benihana's and I love
Christ airs
through the school.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, but they just ran it into the ground. That's what happens when companies get a hold of a good thing.
Yeah,
that's what happened to Rock
Kumail
Band.
Nanjiani and HBO. They take the thing you love and they water it down, and it's no longer funny or enjoyable.
I can't even watch HBO
At
anymore.
least it was funny once, you know. At least I had it.
Yeah. Kumail and I, Silicon Valley and The Late Late Show, both were super funny shows.
Tony Hawk 3 was my game. Of the Tony Hawk series, that's the one I played the most.
I loved it. The first one, I think, is the one I played the most. And they did, I think, up until 3, they kept getting better.
They get better, but the third was the last great one, I think.
They started getting like a little too weird.
Favorite. I think 2 is my favorite.
2 is really good. The first one, because 2 was the first one where you could do like manuals and you could like combo tricks into one another. But the first one, that soundtrack, I was still like Superman, that. Mm-hmm. So here I am doing everything I can. That ska song.
Yeah.
I still, every time I hear that, I think, which is every day, I eat a sausage and I listen to that song, Superman. And it just was amazing. It made me want to be a skateboarder so bad, but I've always been too fat to reliably stand on a skateboard.
I tried skateboarding for a couple of weeks. I remember trying to skateboard through the winter of in Chicago.
Yeah.
Not a solid idea.
No.
And
you'd have been better off SSXing.
Yeah. Trying to impress this girl. I remember skating back and forth by my school, hoping she would look at me. Skating around the corner, hitting this patch of ice, and just fucking eating it.
No.
And just and I lived down the street from my school, crying, crawling home.
Oh no! You didn't even stand up.
Yeah.
Did you leave the board there? Or did you grab
yeah.
it? You just left it on the street?
I mean, I was able to go back and get it because I live so close to my house. But it was like, I don't like skateboarding.
Yeah.
Where did you live in Chicago? What part of town?
I live in South Side Chicago, 69th and Woodlawn.
Okay.
Where I grew up.
Oh, I worked on 47th and Woodlawn.
Oh, wow.
I've been to the Sears Tower.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, my son begged me for a skateboard.
Did he really?
All Christmas. Just begging. Loved one skateboard. Got him a skateboard and helmet. Took him outside to get on it. He steps on it. And then it's like, nah. And then just goes back upstairs and starts playing video games in a skateboard and helmet.
Did he think...
And has not gotten back on it since that one time.
Did he think you'd step on and then it would take it from there?
I think
maybe?
he
Yeah.
did. I think
It's so
he
hard.
likes skater culture. He loves wearing skateboard shoes.
Yes.
He loves the attitude. But he realized, I mean, I guess if you know it's not for you, just he's like...
He made an immediate decision.
Quickly.
Yeah. Malcolm Funches was like a young Ian Karmel back in middle school because I wore like exclusively skateboard shoes and like dressed like them, and all my friends were skateboarders. But it's just the thing itself. I was just like, I stood on it once and tried to like, even in a hallway where it's like really easy to move on a skateboard, my center of gravity is way too out of whack for that shit. It's way too low.
Oh, yeah, he wears Etnies and DC shoes all day.
Were you good at Tony Hawk?
Real good. Yeah.
It's a great game.
Not as good as Sean Jordan, apparently, who I was talking to about this earlier. Shout out to Sean Jordan.
He was helping you through his picks?
I was just talking about him with him.
Oh, see, now Ron is saying that's not right either.
And
No, I didn't. Don't.
I know your tone. I know your tones.
You're actually going. I had a whole draft room set up. I'm treating this like the NFL draft. I was good at Tony Hawk. My favorite. I mean, I liked skating with Tony Hawk the most. Although it was fun to skate with Jeff Rowley. I liked Bob Burnquist was fun. It was amazing. It was such a good game. Do you remember the first time you nailed a 900? I remember the first time I nailed a 900.
I remember, because it was probably on that first level, trying to go up in that huge ramp.
Yeah.
And so you like had to pick up more and more speed.
In that bowl, yeah.
Oh my God. When you're like doing the tricks and you're seeing the ground get closer to you and you gotta like, you think, I think I can get
do
another
I have one
turn
more in me?
I
Yeah.
can do one more before I land.
I could turn this into a 360. I could get one more spin in. Yeah.
On Tony Hawk 3, I know there was one level where you could get, you had to get like 1,000,000 points, right?
That was when skateboard culture was at its zenith, though. I mean,
that's
right.
Top Skater.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
That was the one with the actual board, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the handrails. Then and now, you know what's weird? Skate culture is like really cool now. Like if you go up and down Fairfax, everybody's like, even Kanye dresses like a skater. Everybody's like skated out, but there's no good video game.
Yeah.
They should do Lil Wayne Pro Skater.
They should do Lil Wayne Pro Skater. And all his awful like rock and roll, his like punk rock soundtrack would be every song. Just him covering Goldfinger and Primus songs. They shouldn't do Lil Wayne Pro Skater.
Probably not.
But I love it. You really felt in that game. You felt the gravity. You felt
gravity. It was scary.
You really felt gravity. Like, and when you really like were whipping around like in a bowl, like
with
it
the
felt fast.
Physics when you fell off.
And it was like nothing that had come before it.
No.
Like, I don't remember a game like that before it. It like created a new genre that then was big for like 10 years and is gone again.
Yeah. There was on Nintendo, wasn't there a skateboard game?
But it wasn't like
But it wasn't like that.
No.
There was that weird I remember there was a street course like game that wasn't really fun.
There was a game called
all.
Skate or Die.
That's the one, Skate or Die. I didn't like Skate or Die.
Yeah, then there was a game called Street Surfer before that.
And the California games had
The California games had a
Skitchin'?
Yeah.
Skitch, I loved Skitchin'. Remember Skitchin', Kumail?
I heard of it, but I don't remember.
You rollerblade, and you would Skitchin' was when you were on rollerblades or a skateboard. It was rollerblades, and you'd grab the back of a car, and that's when you were skitching.
Okay. There was a game on the Genesis
They were
called.
like, let's make a game like this and give it to kids.
I know. I don't think it maybe there were 5 people in the real world doing that, skitching, and then they based the video game off of it. I tried skitching.
Oh no!
I did like on my brother's car, but because I was really into rollerblading back in like middle school and high school. Me and my friend Brandon Carroll.
So you were good at rollerblading.
I was really good at rollerblading.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do any tricks.
Yeah.
Because I was still this size, but like I was 12. But I rollerbladed all over the place. That was I would try to wear rollerblades in a 7-Eleven, and nobody let me do it.
Nobody let me do it.
Heelys. You was been about that Heely life.
I never got into that Healy life. I fucking despised because by the time Heelys came out, I was working at like the old spaghetti factory, which is kind of a low class Olive Garden, which I know sounds crazy. And kids, I would be like holding a tray with like 8 plates of spaghetti and a bunch of Italian sodas on it, and some kid would go heeling past my path, and I'd have to pump the brakes because these kids are just like, it's like fucking playing Frogger, but with a tray of spaghetti.
Yeah.
That's a good game. Is that one you pick?
No. But it could be yours because I just made my first pick of the 3rd round.
Here's my pick.
And now it's time for Ron Funches' 3rd
I'm
pick.
glad the draft's really been going how I would like because I haven't been able. I mean, the Ocarina of Time was a big loss for me.
Yeah.
And then it actually then took out because it's like, oh man, I might do a Link to the Past, but I'm not. I'm gonna go with a game that I love very, very, very much that came out of the blue for me. I feel like it is the pinnacle of the open world genre.
Okay.
And that is Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, yes.
I was considering Red Dead Redemption or
That's on the
GTA Vice City, but went with Vice City. But I just played it again because you could download it on Xbox One.
Oh, can you? How did it hold up? Still good,
It
right?
holds up.
Yeah. It still looks great.
The sky looks great.
Oh, it's such
At
a
night,
beautiful game.
It's one of the few games where I would actually be just like leave it on and leave the background on and just be like, oh, I'm calm.
Yeah.
Like and that is what big difference in the open world with something like Grand Theft Auto. I never felt calm in Grand Theft Auto.
Not even once.
There's the action. There's a great story, great voice acting. It's one of the best games of all time.
You get on a horse and you just ride for a while. It's great.
It's beautiful.
Go to Mexico.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a new one coming out, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they announced they're making another one?
But it's like 2 years away or something.
Ooh, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
I know. But I love it.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption was great.
John Marsden. It's got a real sad story, too.
And I'm assuming I get to also play Undead Nightmare because it's a part of the expansion pack.
Yes.
So that is one of the best expansion packs ever created.
For those who don't know, that's where you're in a house and zombies are attacking.
It's like just a whole new
It's a whole story with
Oh,
zombies.
I never played that version of it.
I didn't like the idea that they sold out the universe with the first expansion.
That kind of bugged me too. I don't really care for zombies
because I like Gay
Gay.
Tony
Amazing.
and Lost and the Damned and all that shit.
Yeah, but it was amazing. It was an amazing expansion. It turned the game, if you were like, oh, I like the action, but not necessarily the calming parts, it turned the game into this whole claustrophobic shooter with these wave of zombie enemies coming at you. And it was like, oh, this is like almost a completely different game, but it still works. It still has a fun story. I think it was one of the best. And it hit at the time right before zombie culture was like at complete mass.
Yeah.
So it was still like, oh, this is surprising and fun and unique, and I like it.
It came out
precede Call of Duty having zombies all the time. So that they set the precedent of having zombies in a game that doesn't have zombies. And now it's become, like you said, now zombies are totally played out. But Call of Duty, zombie mode. Yeah. You know what I also loved? Zombie games? Left 4 Dead. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually couldn't play it. My son, that was the time period where my son was really anti anything violent being in the house. So I couldn't play Left 4 Dead or
and that game
watch
is
Walking Dead.
Extremely violent. Yeah.
Oh, Left 4 Dead is stressful.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
No. I watched people play it. That was one of the games where I would watch people play it.
Yeah. That's good. Should
I
go?
Is Left 4 Dead the one in the mall where you're like is it that zombie game?
That's Dead Rising.
That's Dead Rising.
But
wait, what's Left 4 Dead? Maybe I haven't played it.
Left 4 Dead is 4 people trying to get from one place to another, and you got to work together, and it's a first-person shooter, and it is fucking
pretty great.
Awesome.
It's pretty great.
I'm going to have to play that.
It's damn good.
All right, Red Dead Redemption, excellent pick.
Thank you.
My turn.
Another horse riding game. A lot of horse riding games in this draft.
Yeah, horses are big.
It's really
big
fun
in the
to ride
draft.
a horse. They are.
Horses and guns.
Have you ever ridden a horse in real life?
I've never ridden a horse.
Kumail, have you ridden a horse?
Yeah,
Wait, I did as a child. I've seen a picture of me.
On a horse? Mm-hmm. I would love to have a T-shirt with that picture on it.
It's on the way.
Where we lived, there was a guy who would like sort of come to our street with a horse, and you just pay him, and you could like ride a horse on the streets of Karachi.
Yeah.
And he had like a route, so there would be certain houses he knew kids would do it, and there was a girl that would get a turn before us, and she would ride the horse, and just telling you the truth. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
We would throw rocks at her for her to get off, so it could be our turn.
That was your version of putting a quarter on an arcade machine.
Yeah.
Just throwing rocks at the horse lady.
Throw rocks at this girl.
What did she do? Would she just cry on the back of this horse?
She was just like, "What the fuck?" And she would then complain, and the neighbor would come, and I would tell my mom, like, "Why would I do that? That's crazy. Listen to how that sounds.
Yeah.
Why would I throw rocks at a girl riding a horse? That's so dangerous." And so my mom believed me.
So you were gaslighting your mom and throwing rocks at a lady on a horse.
Yeah, I also gaslit the girl because I was like, I didn't throw rocks at you.
Were you like hiding behind something, tossing rocks?
Out in the open.
Right out in the open.
Me and my cousin throwing rocks.
Plain as day. And then you would take a ride on that horse.
Not proud of it.
And she didn't throw rocks back?
Not proud of it. No, she was on a horse.
Oh, but when you rode the horse, though?
No.
No. Absolutely.
She had class.
She had class.
Yeah.
She went high.
Yeah, she went high.
All right, fantastic. Well, I expect you to be throwing rocks with this next pick.
All
Your
right.
third pick, the final pick of the
now
third
it's
round.
getting tough a little bit, okay? So I'm going to go with, and because you got to go with stuff that was big for you when it came out.
Yeah.
And had a big legacy. So I'm going with Resident Evil.
Oh,
the first
yeah.
Resident Evil on the PlayStation. I remember playing that and being like, I've never played a game like this. This is fucking insane. It looks amazing. I hadn't played Alone in the Dark or whatever. And it was like, I loved horror. That was always my favorite genre of movies.
Yeah.
And playing a horror video game in like a whole like mansion. The graphics were unbelievable. The fixed camera angles, like I just like that game like changed my life.
That game is terrifying. I don't know if it would still be now, but I remember playing it the first time.
Tank controls. You're like, no, you're getting too close.
Yeah.
I love the tank controls. I played Silent Hill 2 again recently.
Yeah.
And I fucking love Silent Hill 2. That's one of my favorites. To me, I think that's the pinnacle of the survival horror genre. That's the scariest video game ever made. And Fatal Frame 2 is good too.
What are tank controls for the listeners and for me?
So it's like you're facing one direction.
Yeah.
And so if you want to go right, you got to hit right and you sort of pivot and then you hit up to move.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't
you don't see what's around that corner.
You don't sidestep. It's just harder to control. So if you're like, even if you're facing down, you got to go right and it's the character's right. So it's a little non-intuitive.
Okay, I get it, yeah. But that just made it scarier.
It made it
right?
It did make it scarier.
Tank controls.
The only ones of that I love Resident Evil 2. That's like my favorite.
That one was
2
great.
and 4 are my favorite. I think 4. If I were to pick a Resident Evil in my top 5, 4 would be my pick.
You know, I will say a lot of people pick 4. I love 4. To me, it was too actiony. It was more like what later became Dead Space. I like the first one and the second one because they were less like shooty. I like 4. I like 5. I like 6.
Really?
But they're like, yeah, I like all of those. But 4
like
for
the
me was
Umbrella
too actiony.
Chronicle?
The Umbrella Corporation. I couldn't play the first. I remember the first time I played the first one. It was dark out, and I was like, I can't now. I can't play this until the next day.
It's the best.
Dead Space, that would do it for me. That one's terrifying.
Dead Space is great.
I would get so nervous that I couldn't play those, like I couldn't play Resident Evil for more than like an hour, dude.
Not even been like, nope.
Right? They're just too fucking scary. And
dude, did you try Outlast? It's a new game.
No.
You get an Outlast 2 came out.
Play PT. And it was
PT's
no,
terrifying.
thank you.
Outlast, we played for a few days, and I was like, I just think this is too stressful and scary.
It's not even fun at some point.
Yeah, Outlast 2 just came out, and or like Amnesia. They're just too scary. I can't handle it.
There were no movies that were as scary as those games were in that time.
No.
Yeah, because you're controlling it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is happening to you.
It was way worse. Excellent pick, Kumail. Resident Evil 1. Any more thoughts on Resident Evil?
No, just love it. Oh, Ron?
It's your pick again, Kumail. It's that was the final pick of the third round.
Okay.
And now you have the first pick of the fourth round.
All right. Well, okay, so this is tough. It's tough. I gotta go with Skyrim because that
was on my list too.
That was my favorite. That's my favorite RPG of all time. And I've just been like watching videos of it again. It would be so cool because you'd just be walking somewhere and you'd see a well and you go down the well and there's a whole fucking storyline in the well that like you wouldn't have found if you didn't go. Every book like tells you more about the world, and like I just love the idea where you're like sitting there, you're like, you see that little blip far over there? That's a mountain. I'm gonna walk to it. And you just fucking walk to it. And on the way there's shit to do.
It'll take you 4 hours to get to that blip on the map. Yeah. There's so many little things along the way.
And you just like go straight, you walk to it. The fucking dragon fights are cool.
Oh my God.
Fuss Row is cool. I just like Skyrim really was my life for months and months and months.
Me too. You could play and months and months and months, and you could have played it for even more months.
Oh yeah, I had to decide to stop. I finished the game.
Yeah.
I finished the
story
story
mode.
I finished the story.
Yeah. Which in and of itself would take forever. Like that well thing you're talking about, that could take you 6 hours, wherever that well leads you. And it has nothing to do with the storyline.
It has nothing to do with just some like random thing.
Yeah.
And every character on the side was so fleshed out. You could like find out so much about their history, and I like that the dwarven ruins had a certain look, and like everybody they had like the weird technology stuff, like almost robot stuff. Did you ever play Skyrim?
I just got it. I never played it when it came out.
The new one you got.
Yeah, I just got the remaster.
It's one of the best.
It's such a good game. I'm really jealous of that pick.
I feel like, I think it was so overloaded, and I think, so I didn't. And I think I watched you play it so much that I was like, I already know too much about it to play it on my own.
Yes,
you guys
but I think
were
it's been enough time now. Yeah, we were for the listen.
In
Ron
Rip
and I,
City?
We not in Rip City, but you would come crash with us every now and then.
Yeah, I think it was when I was crashing on your couch a lot.
In Portland.
You were playing Skyrim like nonstop.
I think I had gout, but was in denial of it, so I would like not want to walk around on my ankle or something like that.
Did you really have gout?
I think I do have gout. I still don't know.
You should go to the doctor.
I've been to the doctor. No, I've been to the doctor several times and have been like, yo, I think I have gout. And the doctor's just like, you don't have gout. You're 32. And I'm like, I don't think that's a barrier between.
Kyle has gout.
Kyle had it.
Yeah, Kyle, and he's open.
You can't even get a bit out of it.
I know. That's the fucked up thing. Is like Kanane's got this great gout bit, and like I look way more like I have gout than Kyle does. Kyle acts more like he has gout than I do.
Yeah. Kyle's soul has gout.
His soul has gout.
Yeah, your soul doesn't have gout.
He's actively chasing gout.
Kyle is right. He's like one of those bug chasers, but with gout. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kyle set gout on his vision board every year, and he finally got it.
He wanted gout.
Yeah,
the secreted gout into existence.
Calling himself Uncle Barbecue should have immediately given him gout.
All right, Skyrim. Ronald, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm still been lucky because most of my picks have been available for me.
Can I make one last point about Skyrim real quick?
Yeah, babe.
How great was it, like buying and decorating houses too?
My God,
I
man.
love that shit.
That game has so much, and I just like it was so exciting and so big, and Tamriel was just. I mean, I'd get attached to like my companions and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. More horse riding, by the way.
It was
more
such
horse
like
riding.
It felt like it felt like the world existed before you started playing the game, and it felt like it would exist when you stopped.
Guys, you're getting me excited.
You're gonna have so much.
Like a total history. Like when this game started, you felt like people have been living in this world for hundreds of years. Shit's already happened. And then I've tried to, I love The Witcher and I love Dragon Age, but for me, Skyrim was the one.
There's nothing else like it.
I think that might be my issue, though, that I've never been into the fantasy realm.
See, that's my favorite. That's my favorite realm.
Mine, too.
That's all the realms.
Fallout. Like, I like the more post-apocalyptic.
See, I tried to play Fallout 4. And, like, I played it
for Fallout 4.
I played it. That's the one that
Fallout
everybody.
New Vegas
Fallout 2 is great. Fallout 4 is the one where everyone was like, "This is the fucking game," right? Like,
yeah, that's what they said, but I don't agree.
I didn't get into it.
I couldn't get into it.
I played it. I legit, guys, played it for like 30 hours. I've put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, and you're like, this isn't fun.
And after 30 hours, I was like, no.
I don't know why I couldn't connect to it either.
I'm not disagreeing about your Fallout 4 opinion, but Fallout 3 was one of the best games I ever played, especially when you start as being born in this first person.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, I haven't even played it.
Oh, yeah,
it
that was
a lot of more RPG elements than Fallout 4 does.
Skyrim might be able to...
better characters than Fallout 4. Fallout 4... I did the same thing. I spent 30 hours going like, oh, I love Fallout. I love Fallout. I love Fallout 3. I'm going to love this. I'm gonna love it any minute now. I'm gonna love it.
That's what I was like so stoked for because I was like, everybody loved it.
Falling out with Fallout?
No, because that would be a horrible joke.
Yeah,
so
you wouldn't do that.
I might say it.
Right.
I might say it.
I'm above such.
Right, totally.
Kumail, I had a falling out with Fallout.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't have as much time to write because of the show. I think if anything can get you over your aversion to fantasy, I think it might be Skyrim. It is.
But it is fantasy.
It's hard fantasy.
It's sorcery, dragons.
Like a lot of fantasy, a lot of reading.
There's not as much.
There's not reading unless you want it.
Although there are. That's the other fucking crazy thing about Skyrim is there's these books.
There's like recipe books, and people have made like those things and the real recipes.
Yeah.
They're like actual things.
Some writers have sat down and wrote like 35-page books about the history of Skyrim.
I appreciate them creating the whole world. I feel like I might play it. But
you don't have to read the books.
No. Okay, so sorry about that sidetrack. Ron,
it went well. Then I got to talk about Fallout.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm going to go with another one of my favorite games. If I was able to pick the
that's a good choice. You're picking one of your favorite games for the list.
Oh, is this because of the thing I said just before?
Yeah,
you want to play NBA 2K after
I
this?
should have waited a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Are you picking NBA 2K?
No.
Okay.
I might. Now I might.
I don't know. Every pick I've been like, am I going to do NBA 2K?
I know, I almost picked it. Everything but the first pick, I've almost picked it.
Yeah,
now you're about to do it.
It's on the list. I've been thinking about it. You guys might make me do it, but I'm not. I mean, if it goes, it goes. I'm not. I'm gonna do one of my favorite games.
Oh, cool!
A great action game.
That's a good idea.
For my favorite developer, I'm gonna go with Uncharted 2.
Oh, you do love that game.
Yeah,
I know that about you.
Did you play 4?
I played 4.
4 is great.
Incredible. It almost reaches the heights of 2.
Yeah.
2 to me was the first time where I was like, oh, I'm actually a lot of video games are always like you're playing a movie, and this was the first time where I was like, I would watch this movie.
It's better than a movie.
This is better than a movie. It looks beautiful. The first level is one of the best opening levels of any video game of all time.
Is that where you're hanging on the train?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it just goes from there. And it just keeps, and then it gives you some story. It does just masterful story work of going back and forth, of just giving you action and story and exploration. And I know it could be a little, predictable as far as like, oh, you explore, then you go shoot, and then you do some story, and then you explore, and then you shoot. But it was so tightly done. The graphics are great. I feel like Nathan Drake is such a great character.
Predictable's not a sex is predictable. It's still great.
It's still great.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in, out, out. Then I'll feel great. Then I'll feel bad.
Right.
Sex.
Nathan Drake. This way, those of you, I still haven't played any of the Uncharted, which I know is
play 2.
2.
Start with 2.
That's okay to start with 2.
4?
I don't, but I'll buy one.
Get one
after this.
Get one. There's the Uncharted collection. Have them all.
Play 2. I would say play 2 and then skip to 4. Although 3 is really good too.
3, I don't know. 3 is okay. 1 is better than I remember, but 2 and 4 are the
just do
best.
2 and 4.
I won't miss out on like crucial story.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
4 is fucking so good too.
Yeah, it's
you know what I do miss? Oh, this is a spoiler coming up. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the other ones.
Well, I'm gonna close my ears.
Okay, all had some sort of supernatural element, and I felt like 4 didn't.
I like that it didn't have the supernatural
I was waiting
element.
for it. I like it.
I felt like the other times it was always, especially in 2.
It was surprising.
I felt like it was tacked on.
Like when those Yeti snowman things show up.
Well, yeah,
I thought it was great.
Cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, we're done.
I think I heard the word Yeti, but what? It could have been referring to anything. Maybe like the winter craft vehicle, the Yeti.
Yeah.
Which I think is a brand of snowmobiles. And if it's not, what a great idea for a name. It's Nathan Drake. You're a treasure hunter?
He is a treasure hunter. He's a bit of a con man.
Yeah.
He's your classic, like, cool white guy.
Yeah.
He's like sort of
kind of an Ian Karmel type.
He's like a crook Indiana Jones. So instead of stealing from museums, he's stealing to sell and for himself.
Oh,
and
that's
all that.
great.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
He's like
He's got a fun father figure. It's fun, and
Sully.
Yeah, and that's great. That's a great story. And with those two, he's got multiple love interests. One that's dangerous. One that's like you should probably settle down with.
Yeah. I mean, it's not surprising. You look at him. Yeah, that dude should have multiple love interests.
He's a handsome guy. 5 o'clock shadow all the time.
All the time.
He's handsome.
Shirt.
Yeah.
He knows his way around a ruin.
He does. He's smart. He's very, and he's funny. He's funny. Sometimes you're like, shut up with your little beautiful face, but
he's funny. I like that the shooting is really good. Every element is really good. Like sometimes with GTA, you sort of have to be like, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That the shooting isn't great and the driving, but all together it really works. But Uncharted, I feel like every single element is super good.
Does the game make you want to be a more adventurous man? Does it make you want to like go like I should go to Machu Picchu? Or
Machu Picchu, exactly. Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
To visit other lands, it really instills this sense of wonder and taught me more about things that I didn't know about as far as treasure hunters and Sir Francis Drake and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So it's like connected to these actual figures from history.
It's sort of like historical fiction in the sense that it takes real events and then there's like
almost the way like National Treasure does, where it's like there was like a secret treasure room here.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
fuck, that game sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
you
like
gotta
it.
get it.
You love adventure games.
I do.
Right?
Yeah, I do. Why
Uncharted 2 is
gotta get it.
No matter like objectively on everybody's list would be one of the best adventure games ever made.
After I'm done with this thing I have to do, I'm going to buy a PlayStation 4 to get that.
You should get a PlayStation 4. It's great.
And just for the baseball games, too, which is something I like, and maybe Sean O'Connor, and then maybe nobody else. All right, amazing pick, Uncharted 2. It is now time for me to make my fourth pick, the final pick of the fourth round. And since it's there, since you didn't take it, and I felt I have to take NBA 2K.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to take
one?
I'm going to take 17. I'm going to take the current iteration of it. Because it just keeps getting better.
It keeps getting better.
One you would pick, I think on my list I had 13.
13 specifically.
With the Michael Jordan.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That
Whether
was good.
you could have like there were the 3 different Michael Jordans in it.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Oh, and you play his best games and you get to match the.
Fuck, that was good. I should
that
have taken
was my
13
pick.
maybe.
That
I'm
was
taking
my
17. But that was great. Where it would put you in and you had to, and it would let you, if you hit the 7 threes in the first half, you would shrug.
Yeah.
Oh, and it had gold chain Jordan, which is the coolest.
It had everything.
Gold
And
chain
especially
Jordan
for a
is the
guy
coolest
from
Jordan.
Chicago, it was like this is so. Yeah, if I was, it's on my list. I'm not gonna pick it now because you picked the 17, but NBA 2K13.
I feel like that series, each one is better than the last, but there's like some big leap that happens every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's not even just a console leap. Like sometimes they'll just make a leap.
Right.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I mean, I just now because I got the PS Pro and seeing it with the 4K and the lighting, because I was like, all right, it'll look okay. It'll look a little better.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it looks like not even like I'm watching it on TV. It looks like I'm watching it while I'm at the
there.
arena.
What is a PS Pro?
They came out with this new console that's like basically for silly rich kids who have 4K TVs, and it just up-reses your
They're doing
it's
kind
more
of
graphic. It's 4 times as powerful.
You have to buy like new games for it?
It's like a Sega CD.
Okay. It just kind of if you have it, it up-reses your graphics for you.
It's like a weird like half step between console generations.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange
like
that they're
CD.
both doing it because Xbox is doing it. PS4 is doing it.
Yeah, it's like if you had a PC and all your settings. If your PS4 was all the settings on medium, then it's like now you can bump them up to high or ultra.
Oh, word. Well, we're all silly rich kids. Are you going to get one, Kumail?
I'm sure someone's already given him 4.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a Sony hookup, but I don't have a 4K TV. So
is the difference really that profound?
I mean, I was just in the market for a new TV. My TV was getting old.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might as well get a 4K TV. There's not enough content to really justify it.
Yeah.
But as far as like when you do see something,
you might as well.
Like, like playing on NBA 2K, like I was like, oh, I never noticed the texture on the floor of when you're at home. You know, when you're at home in your career playing games.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that it was concrete and that you could see the cracks in it.
Jeez,
you
really?
actually, when you're playing, you can see Blake Griffin's off-court problem.
You can see the drinking problem that lurks somewhere deep within him that causes him to punch trainers.
Yeah. You could see why he would punch his equipment manager or whatever the fuck he did.
There's a hollowness in his eyes that isn't there in other players'
you don't
eyes.
get that in 1080p. Yeah.
You can see Damien. Oh, I'm not gonna say.
What?
No.
Dame?
Nope. Fantastic album. I like his rap album.
Oh, he has a rap album.
Oh yeah, Damian Lillard put out a pretty good rap album.
Yeah, he's solid for an
Yeah.
NBA player.
Like
Okay.
probably
Better than Shaq's?
yes.
Definitely better
And
than
Shaq and Fushnikins were not bad
for the 90s.
for the 90s. Not you can't listen to it now, but yeah, Dame put out an album the same week as Eminem dropped a new song, and Dame's was way better than Eminem's.
And what about
stuff.
Meta? Didn't Meta have an album too?
Yeah, Meta World Peace did. It was
Yeah,
more
but
good.
we don't need to talk about that.
We don't need to. It's not a highlight. In fact, it might be the low light, and he was part of Malice in the Palace. NBA 2K is just the perfect sports game.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Madden has kind of
It just
stagnated,
feels
in my
right.
opinion.
Yeah.
And it feels like basketball. It's fucking
The flow when you're missing shots, you're like, yeah, I should be missing shots right
Yeah.
now because I'm forcing shots and I'm not playing properly.
right.
As soon
You're
as
not
you take
setting
a
screens,
shot, you can kind of tell if it's going to go in or not, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
and it'll surprise. And if you got a bad shot off, it'll like kind of like bank. If it does go in, it'll like kind of bank around a little bit.
Yeah.
Roll around a bit.
You'll
yeah.
know you had a lucky shot.
Yeah, you really should get a PlayStation so that I guess you guys could play on Xbox.
Yeah.
Me and Kumail
I'll get a
play NBA
PlayStation.
2K on PlayStation.
I was gonna save it as a reward, but if we can just play it online, I'll do that. It's just such a good game. The My Career mode is fun, even
Did you? The
Like with the
storyline
storylines
in
in
the
it?
new one is cool.
with Jack Knight and Hannibal.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Jack Knight, Hannibal.
Walsh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Matt Walsh is great in it. Yeah,
Prelude,
Yeah, how fucking fun.
it's so fun.
I got too good. I won the championship my first season, and now I'm like, where do I go from here?
a second championship.
Yeah,
A dynasty.
Well, I left.
You got to play against the ghost of Michael Jordan, like LeBron said he's doing.
Wow.
Which Michael Jordan's not even dead.
I was on the Denver Nuggets, and then I switched teams, and then I just didn't like it as much.
You demanded a trade. You won a championship with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, dude. Well, they've got they have Kenneth Fareed and
Sure.
stuff, and they're all good.
I know
video
that,
game
yeah.
players.
There's not a player in the NBA right now who could go to Denver and turn them into a championship team.
Well, I'll tell you, Kumail Nanjiani did.
Came in because you wanted them to say your name?
No, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because it won't, and for years, it won't let me name Kumail because it thinks it's a swear word because it thinks it's cum.
What?
So I can't ever name myself Kumail because
What?
they're always like, there's a swear word in it because they think I'm trying to cheat them. And like, I want to name myself, I want to have a play on the word cum in my name.
Cum ale, like it's a kind of beer?
Yeah.
Or cum, like
Cum ale,
like
yeah.
cream soda?
That's a stretch.
That's quite the stretch.
Well, I just can't figure out what it is because they, for years, has not let me, and I've tweeted at them.
Yeah. If someone at 2K is listening to this, fucking fix that. Also, make them say Karmel. Make that a thing the announcers say.
That'd be great.
And Funches.
Yes, please.
That's my one of my only goals. I want to have a pool, and I want NBA 2K to say Karmel.
Well, the new one, everybody's Prez, right?
Yeah, prayers. Yeah.
Prez, because they can't get Michael B. Jordan to say 40 different names.
No, they can't. And the last one, Prez, NBA 2K16, you were frequency vibrations in the storyline.
Yeah, that's Spike Lee,
That
right?
sucked.
That's a bad name.
Yeah.
That's Spike Lee, right?
It was Spike Lee. Freak Vibe. That was... There were cool twists in the storyline, but that sucked.
That's
Yeah,
trying a
I
little
didn't
hard.
like his story. I didn't care for it.
If you were white, you were still frequency vibrations. And then you had to, in your brain, sort of justify the story where you had...
I used to go to a lot of raves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was big into rave culture. Yeah. If I could add a pacifier necklace to my creative player, I would, but I can't.
Freak vibe.
Freak vibe, and you had like a black best friend, and you talked black, and your family was black.
But you were
You were a
white.
white guy named named Ian Karmel,
So
who everybody called
basically,
Freak Vibes.
it was like if the jerk was an athlete.
Yeah. It was a jerk simulator.
It was a jerk simulator.
He would have called himself Freak Vibe.
Freak Vibes. God. Oh my God. Yeah, and you would do the freak vibe dance. Yeah, so NBA 2K, I mean, there's not much, like, I have wasted my life playing NBA 2K.
Yeah, I've played all 17.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
me
too. I have wasted huge
The
swaths.
first time I saw it
was like,
on the
oh my
Dreamcast,
God.
yeah,
Oh.
nothing looked like that.
No.
Nothing looked like that. The faces looked like the
Because it was
players.
still
Yeah.
NBA Jam time at that time.
Yeah.
And playing NBA Live stick figures.
I remember
God, that
looking
was
at
bad.
like
Yeah.
like Scottie Pippen's face and being like, that looks like Scottie.
Looks like
Pippen.
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You can tell he doesn't tip just from the.
Shout out to Visual Concepts.
Yeah.
He don't talk bad about Sky
I'm
Pippen.
gonna talk. He was a Blazer too. I'll talk back. He was a good Blazer. Not as good as he was on the Bulls. Didn't get us 6 championships.
Oh yeah, that's
You
right.
still have another pick, right?
I do have another pick. I'm going
Your
to make
final pick.
my final pick.
The final pick.
Ian Karmel's final pick of the video game All Fantasy Everything, and I'm going to go with something a little different.
Are you gonna pick not one of your favorite games?
Yeah, I'm going to pick my least favorite game ever.
Curveball.
Funches is giving Kumail the finger. I'm going to go with Rock Band.
Okay.
Yeah,
Solid.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Rock.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it was such a fun game. It's not anything it's not like the other games on my list where I poured huge portions of my life into it. But I just fucking loved it. It was such a fun party game. I could never drum, but it was like really fun. And it came out in a time of my life when like I was living with like in Portland.
Did you have the
Before I even
guitar
started
up on the
stand-up.
wall like dudes used to have that?
No.
People had that.
Of course I didn't. That's where we kept the empty beer bottles.
Yeah.
But I would I lived with friends, so it'd be like, you want to come over, we'll like get drunk and like play Rock Band, and it was super fun. I liked singing on it. I could play the guitar and like the bass.
Oh
I could
my
do
god, it
everything
makes
but
you
drum.
feel like a rock star.
It really does make it, and I got into that mode too because you could single player it and like just play
Have
guitar.
you played Guitar Hero Live?
No, what is that like?
It's really fun because they use full motion video.
Oh, really?
So it's like, and I've heard, which was an idea of mine.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel like you're actually, because you're playing, they've hired all these extras and background people to pretend like they're at a concert and give you 2 reactions, whether you're either killing it
Oh, good or bad.
or you're fucking sucking and they're booing the shit out of you.
Really?
Yeah.
So it feels like you're in a real band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're at this concert and everybody's booing you except for this one guy who's wasted and he's still like, yeah, you're all right.
And these are video.
Yeah, these are all live action videos.
And does it still have like a storyline? Like you start off like a little.
Basically, you're playing all these. You're working your way through a festival circuit.
Okay, great.
And trying to do bigger and bigger festivals.
That's
and I've
fucking
heard
amazing.
Now that they're going to do it for the Oculus, so it will
Wow.
be like you're actually looking around. Because I remember the first time I played it, I got nervous.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to fail in front of all these people. So I imagine being in virtual reality and looking around and actually seeing all these people is going to be like a killer. I think it's going to be
that's
one of VR's
fucking
killer
great.
apps.
Scooping that up for sure. I'm going to get Guitar
Wow.
Hero Live. That sounds great because I love the storyline in it too. You started off in like these like shitty clubs and like you worked your way up the ladder. It was just super fun and satisfying. You like went from a van to a plane. You know?
Yeah.
I love.
From a van to a plane.
Yeah,
I bet so many kids didn't learn guitar because they played Rock Band
Absolutely.
instead, and it scratched that itch for them.
because they tried to put out that one that would actually teach you guitar.
Right.
and nobody went
They
for
did.
it.
That had strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my final pick, Rock Band. That concludes my draft. Ron, it is now on you for your 5th pick, your final pick.
Ooh.
Can I look at your list?
No. You want to?
Yeah, I know what my last pick is.
Okay.
I won't say anything. Oh my god. All right. We have some weird, there's some overlap there in terms of games that I love and thought about, but this is going to be tough, huh?
Yeah, it's a tough pick. I'm still picking it as we decide.
I'll tell you, the second on that list is one of my favorite things.
That's one of my favorite things too, but I don't know if it's gonna.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to tell people what it is if you
okay.
don't pick it.
Okay, well, I'll walk you through some ones I'm not picking.
Okay.
That are on the list.
Beautiful.
I'm not gonna pick Overwatch,
Okay.
even though I love it. It's a beautiful game. It's amazing. I feel like maybe if I had more time with it, I would pick it.
Yeah.
I already have over 100 hours into it, which is ridiculous for me for any game.
For any game. Yeah, that's a
but
lot.
especially for a shooter.
That's Skyrim levels of commitment.
Yeah.
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 So I love it.
So,
It's one
but
of my
not Overwatch.
Not Overwatch. Overwatch is getting deleted.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, even though it pains me, I'm not going to pick Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite fighting
Take
games.
you for a ride.
You don't have a fighting game.
I know. And that's the thing. I don't have a couple of different types of games, and I want to pick one. So I will. If I didn't already have an action and adventure game, certainly Ninja Gaiden Black would be.
I love that game so much. That was one of the best until the new Batman Arkham games. That was my favorite fighting system.
Yeah, it is so punishing, so exact. So
oh my god,
once you got it down, you were like, I'm a murdering machine.
Every scrub could kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to fight every person.
Regular guys could murder you.
Yeah.
And that was insane.
Ninja Gaiden.
And then I tell you what, I was about to pick Super Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my favorite games, and I would fall asleep seeing it and dream about it. But now, just talking about it again, I am going to pick Ninja Gaiden Black as my final pick.
Ooh,
there it is.
All right.
We'll shake up at the end.
I got to say, that's the most surprising pick that you've made so far.
Is Ninja Gaiden Black?
I think so.
Why?
Because it's not a game that people really talk about now. Like, all the games that we've all picked are games that are sort of like, in the conversation, people talk about them, like NBA Jam is remembered.
Yeah.
And all, Mario 3 obviously is remembered, Resident Evil. But Ninja Gaiden Black, I feel like people forgot about it a little bit.
I feel like it's a real gamer, it's a gamer's game because it was one of the first games where it's just like, I don't give a shit if you win or lose. I don't care to get you through this story. You got to get better, or even the first guy is going to kill you.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
That's so different than how games are right now, where everything is just like, even like Grand Theft Auto games are like pretty easy to beat.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto games are super easy.
Yeah.
So is Red Dead Redemption is super easy.
A lot of those where they just like live the storyline. We put a lot of time into it.
It's such a beautiful game.
Yeah.
And I love the Ninja Gaiden series on a Nintendo, and to see it become this really fresh new thing that was violent and adult, and like right on that line before he really got really overhypedly sexual with the Dead or Alive games and stuff like that.
Itagaki?
Yeah. This was right when he was at his peak as a developer.
This is his best game.
This is his best work, easily.
And it also had like a batshit sort of Japanese story. Like, it was fucking crazy.
What's the storyline? Can you like a real quick recap?
Well, just like the world was so weird. There were like private investors and dragons. And,
oh, really?
You end up in New York. You end up on an airship.
Oh, it's
what?
Oh my god, dude!
What time period?
The airship was great.
The airship was one of the best levels I've ever played of any game.
Is it modern day?
It's like a weird future, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Future.
Yeah.
It's the not so distant future.
It's like Blade Runner meets fantasy meets ninjas meets Private Eye meets
boobs.
And just the fighting engine of it was, until Batman, as I said, that was the best fighting engine. And people didn't steal it. Batman, I feel like everybody stole now. Everybody's got
Shadows
that.
of Mordor has that Batman engine.
Stole it in an amazing way. Shadows of Mordor.
Shadows of Mordor is great.
Yeah.
But the Ninja Gaiden one, people didn't steal. And then the game started getting worse. And then they kicked him off. And then he made a game, and that game got bad reviews. So I feel like that was the height of a career.
Yeah. It's a great game, and I'm happy with it being my final pick, even though it means that Mario Kart Double Dash is not one of the picks.
All right, my last one. There were two, and I'm going to tell. So Street Fighter 2, I had a fighting game. I had an open world game. I had a survival horror game. I had an RPG. So the last one, I don't want it to be another RPG.
Yeah.
But playing this series was my favorite video game experience of all time. So I was going to have it be BioShock, but I'm not going to do BioShock. I do love BioShock. But I'm going to go with Mass Effect 2.
That is a great pick. That is an amazing pick.
Because that, I think, is my favorite video game series. And 2 is the best of those. I love 3. I like the ending too. But 2, like, you're going to different planets. The world is huge. The characters are all great.
Team.
There's so much you can do when someone on your team dies. It's fucking like super sad. And the action was good too.
I have to admit, I've never played the Mass Effect games.
It's wonderful. I'm so excited.
What is the vibe of it? If there's anyone listening who hasn't, it's out in outer space adventure.
It's outer space RPG shooter, third person shooter. So but the RPG elements are like amazing. They all kind of play out in these cinematic movies.
Yeah,
where you're just picking the storyline and picking the choices. But then, like, a lot of times you pick the choices and it tells you the exact thing that you picked.
Yes.
These ones you're picking approximations. You're picking do I want to be aggressive? Do I want to be diplomatic? Do I want to be passive? Do I want to be smooth? And then you just kind of watch it play out. And it was, and just the voice acting and the stories and the graphics, how they all played out. I just remember just hanging out in that bar, all the time, just talking with people, and it was great. And then you can just fuck your crewmates, and it's like. It was.
Don't fuck Jack though. She's made of strings. She would be like, let's just fuck, no strings attached. Yeah. Like, you are a problem.
Oh, really? So it would change dynamics on the ship and stuff like that?
Yeah, totally.
She's insane.
And I made my Commander Shepard really ugly because I thought it'd be fun to have the savior of the universe be a really ugly dude.
Yeah.
It's always a handsome guy.
So you could design how he looked like beforehand, and
you can pick a female,
traits,
female. Just have my black Commander Shepard just saving the universe. It's a great pick.
And I'm excited about the new one. Mass Effect Andromeda comes out next year. It's gonna be good.
I mean, I will jump in. Can you play Mass Effect 2 without playing Mass Effect 1?
Yeah, I'd recommend that you
there
skip
is,
1.
Right. if you get Mass Effect 2, remember to download. There's a 20-minute thing you can play that's a graphic novel.
Yeah.
Where you sort of, it recaps one.
And it lets you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And and it lets you make the decisions.
Oh, great.
And I would
because
say,
those play into number 2?
Yeah.
And then it goes right into number 2. Yeah.
Oh,
I would say, because there are big decisions you make in one that reverberate through the whole series. I would say the big thing about Mass Effect is it's moral gray zones. It's very hard to know what's right. So it'll be two races, they're beefing. Both of them are right, but only one of them can win. The other one's gonna get fucked. So you really have to, and you have a representative of each race on your team.
Oh, what? And you have to weigh into those? So
like the genophage virus thing. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
To me, that's one of the great video game moral quandaries.
Yeah, because I remember I'm gonna stop playing for a day and think about what I'm gonna do.
It's tough.
I need to go online and read about the pros and cons.
Yeah, really make an informed decision like you were voting.
I had to at one point. This Tali, I'm not. Oh, forget that. That's a spoiler, maybe. But there were 2 crew members that I had to choose something between, and one I was super close with.
Yeah.
In the way I played it, we were besties. We weren't dating. We were besties. So I picked the other one's thing because I was she'll understand.
Yeah.
She fucking committed suicide.
What?
It was so intense.
How did you feel after that? You must have felt like you betrayed somebody.
Awful.
It affected your daily life. It affected your non-video game life.
It colored my days,
Oh my God, that game sounds amazing. Well, I mean, what a final pick. Great. I can't believe it went 15th. Well, that wraps it up, guys. That's the whole draft.
Really fun.
Let's recap the picks. Kumail, you went first, right?
Yeah.
I went first. I went first. Oh yeah, that's right. I picked Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye 007, Tony Hawk 1, NBA 2K17, and Rock Band. Funches, you
Mostly you just need a Nintendo 64.
I know, I really do. That speaks a lot about when I played the most variety of video games. Funches, you went with Super Mario 3 right off the bat, and then NBA Jam Tournament Edition, Red Dead Redemption, Uncharted 2, and then capped it all off with Ninja Gaiden Black. Kumail, you went with Street Fighter 2, GTA Vice City, Resident Evil 1, Skyrim, and Mass Effect 2.
Man, these are some great games we all picked.
These are some really great video games.
Yeah.
And the most fun game was playing All Fantasy Everything with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to @Ian Karmel on Twitter to vote on who you thought won this edition of All Fantasy Everything. We'll be back again next week with another brand new episode. Thank you so much for listening.
That was a HeadGum podcast.